Drum right for three. Huge one on senior night. Driving in on the crossover out to Mojica for the lead. Got it for Drexel. Up by one.
They'll be okay this year. They need someone else.
There's that cross-court pass from Hap to Ford off the hill. Iverson, offensive ball. Talent for Khalil Iverson.
You can't let one loss become five.
And look at the windmill dunk by Melvin Frazier. Give him 25 in the game. Isabel will find Demir. Thought about it. 6 to shoot, trying to take it at Junior. Out to Williams, and the jam for the tie. Jaguar back to win, and that's a poster move on Douglas. Under a minute to play at the Liacouras Center. Alston Jr. Alani Moore for three. Nate Pierre-Louis, the freshman, tried to get it. Instead, Slater was there. Cornish looking for Frazier. Hand delivers for the Green Wave.
Great pass by Cornish.
Brockington. Back-to-back triples from the Philly native. From Philadelphia, you're watching the American Conference on ESPN. We're nestled inside the Liacouras Center on North Broad Street, where the UCF Knights, who have won 3 of the last 4, visit the Temple Owls. Tonight from the Liacouras Center, it's the home opener for the Temple Owls as they host the Wisconsin Badgers. And welcome courtside with former Marist standout Julian Viani. I'm Dave Leto. This matchup features 2 teams who are relentless on the defensive end. Wisconsin only returns 1 senior. As for Temple, a lot of depth this year. Tonight, it's a classic Philly matchup renewed as the Temple Owls culminate a 4-game homestand against their city foe, the Drexel Dragons. Happy holidays with Mark Adams. I'm Dave Leto. Mark, how does Temple rebound after a 20-point loss to #1 Villanova on Wednesday?
Remember the movie Hangover?
I do.
You just have to overcome adversity, and after that disappointing loss to Villanova, now all of a sudden Temple takes on another city foe in Drexel. This is a big game today in the city.
He may be just a sophomore, but Temple's Quentin Rose is blossoming here on North Broad Street.
Quentin Rose was a surprise 1 year ago with a good offensive repertoire.
Belmont has won 17 of the last 19 games, thanks in part to Dylan Windler's play. He's really bolstered his offensive production this go-around.
You know what, Dave? He plays extremely well in the system that they have. He is perpetual motion. Also can finish with the drive with either hand. The
Bruins have only dropped 2 OVC games this season. One of them was to JSU back on January 6th. Combine that result with the upset in the OVC tournament last year, the Gamecocks have hampered Belmont from 3, which is its calling card. Jacksonville State, meanwhile, might not have the potent score like Belmont, but Malcolm Drumright is a matchup concern for any opponent.
Malcolm Drumright is a person that can get his own offense.
As we dive into our Taco Bell what to watch for, UCF held Rose and Etchionia and Alston to 2 points each in the January 7th matchup in Orlando. Temple shot a pallid 32% in that game, making only 8 field goals in the second half. Fran Dunphy will rely on those players to produce today. UCF has won the last 3 meetings over Temple, but the Owls have only lost 1 time to the Knights in Philly. Starting lineups of the tip are coming up next. UCF controls of the road black uniforms, and we're underway in Philadelphia. Our officials this afternoon, Michael Stevens, Don Daly, and Patrick Evans. Knights are coming off of a road loss against Tulsa. Moomin will find DeJesus. 6 to shoot for Moomin. That's good defense by Leonard. The transfer can't get the road roll and hold it by an Etchionia.
And that's going to be a big key for Temple, Dave, the defensive glass. Not a good rebounding team, the Owls. They have to protect their defensive glass.
Rose quickly double-teamed. You'll see a concerted effort from Temple to get him the ball. And Etchionia penetrating with the runner short. And an offensive foul called on an Etchionia.
Well, you're looking at a defensive team in UCF. When they had Taco Fall, the human rim protector, they were one of the top 5 teams in the nation defensively. But Johnny Dawkins has done an outstanding job adjusting his defense without Taco Fall.
In fact, UCF is 3rd nationally in scoring defense, just continuing from last year. A little pick and roll here with Brown taking Leonard on the mismatch. Good swipe by an Etchionia. Alston Jr. for a triple. but UCF knows how to run Temple off the line from three.
And that's where they're very good, UCF, defending the three-point shot. They're going to force Temple into those pull-up tools, right at the rim or right outside the paint.
DeJesus.
He's quick off the bounce.
With the right hand, and it's Leonard making his first career start with the miss. It's a transfer from Ursinus, played there 2013 to 15, and he gets his first points of the season.
Couldn't come at a better time for Stephen Leonard. He feels the urgency of this game, just like the guys who start, even though he started today at home. Classy move by Fran Dunphy.
And it's Yoder for the catch and shoot. 9-0 Temple, and a timeout called by Johnny Dawkins. What a start for the Temple Owls, shutting out the Knights here at home on Senior Day. Back in a moment.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Esurance, auto and home insurance for the modern world, and Sam Adams. Fill your glass.
We'll have a special NBA Sunday matchup for you on ESPN. Joel Embiid of the Sixers are in D.C. to take on Bradley Beal of the Wizards. NBA Countdown tips off our coverage with Chris Bosh joining the crew in studio at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. How about the Sixers right now? A 7 seed. They've won their last 7 games, led by Ben Simmons and the aforementioned Embiid. The Wizards right now a 4 seed.
One Big 12 blockbuster.
Yeah!
Kansas, Texas Tech, Saturday at 4:15 on ESPN.
Kansas is red hot right now. They've won 3 straight, a share of 13 straight Big 12 titles. But how about the job by Chris Beard at Tech? They lost the last 2, however, to Baylor and Oklahoma State. They're led by Keenan Evans, averaging over 17 points per game. West Virginia, 7% chance to win the Big 12, according to our ESPN.com BPI. And Joe Lenardi, ESPN bracketologist, has 7 Big 12 teams making the field.
Well, you know, a lot of damage is done. Nice job running inside. Miller back. A lot of damage is done in the non-conference season. Arizona State right now is still in the tournament because they've had 7 wins in the non-conference, even though they've been under 500 in the Pac-12.
And the latest #1 seeds, Virginia, Villanova, Kansas, and Xavier as well. Villanova beat Xavier a few games ago. And it's delivered there by Martin once more. So on November 24th, without Jalen Adams, Courtney Stockert's layup over Justin Jackson with 3 seconds left to throw to unbeaten Maryland. Stockert, who missed the last 2 games with a groin injury, scored a career-high 14. Now fast forward to December 16th against Vermont and Rochester. Adams finds Mobley, who drains the 3 before the horn to give the Bonnies 5 in a row. That was Mobley's first 3 of the game. 6 nights later at Syracuse, it's Griffin coming up with a huge block on Howard Washington to cap off the Bonnies' first win in the Carrier Dome and first over Syracuse since 1981. And then Mark, the celebration was on postgame with the 2 New York schools separated by just 3 hours.
How about that jubilation? I mean, when you win in the Carrier Dome for the first time, it's huge. You should celebrate.
Back in Philadelphia, Temple leading by 13, playing with a lot of motivation. And earlier today, Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl champion Jalen Mills addressed the team.
Everybody got the athletic ability, or you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be on scholarship. You wouldn't be sitting in this locker room if you didn't have the athletic ability.
This was the 8th game without Taco Fall, done for the rest of the year. We talked with you pregame about how your defensive sets have changed without Taco. How did you like the way it was done today?
Well, I liked it, but we've been defending well, with Taco gone. It's been difficult because it's a huge adjustment for us and the opponents that we're playing against in their preparation for him.
Shake, with only 7 scholarship players available, what have you learned most about your team during this arduous time?
We have a bunch of guys on this team who just fight, and that's really one thing that SMU has embodied, especially over these hard times that we've been facing.
Dave Leno and John Thompson, the third back in Philadelphia, as Temple is trailing by 5 to Tulane. Fran Duffy, John, says the Temple challenges itself with a rigorous schedule because Hall of Fame coach John Chaney laid that foundation to prepare his teams for the rigors of conference and postseason action. Evident by their top 15 RPI, they all should be geared up for conference play as they're already battle-tested.
No, without a doubt. And that is a wise strategy, in my opinion, by Coach Duffy for this team. We're going to see. This is going to be fun. This is going to be a lot of fun coming down the stretch here.
Well, we have a timeout. Let's go back to Bristol for an update. Chris Cotter, all yours.
Okay, Dave, just a reminder, we've got Josh Perkins and Gonzaga coming up, opening up West Coast Conference play against Pacific in the second half. Really good one, though. Creighton by 1. About 3.5 minutes left to go, Dave.
Thank you very much, Chris. We have a great game here as Tulane is leading by 4. Tonight on ESPN, after the Valero Alamo Bowl, stick around for SportsCenter with Scott Van Pelt. He'll break down Bryce Love's big season after what could be his final game for Stanford. Plus, the Celtics host the Rockets, the big test for title contenders, and a special look back at the best oh-no moments of 2017. Let's take a look at tonight's assist of the game presented by State Farm.
It's an inside curl. Windler going out inside and then curling right back to the basket for a lovely alley-oop lob.
Alston Jr. with the pull-up. Foul called here against Temple. Tuesday on ESPN, this should be a good one at the Dean Dome in Chapel Hill. Number 10 North Carolina takes on Miami at 9 p.m. Eastern. Super Tuesday presented by Boost Mobile. Canes Heels also available on the ESPN app. Right now, Paul, North Carolina is steamrolling and just at the right time.
Yeah, Joe Lunardi has them as a 2 seed, and I think they have one of the 5 best point guards in the college game with Joel Berry. You have that type of leadership and that type of ability. You feel pretty good as a coach when you go into postseason play.
Tar Heels, in fact, have won their last 6, coming off a 4-point win at Syracuse. They are unbeaten in February. Their last loss was to Clemson, who's having a pretty good year. Right now, I believe they're 4th in the ACC standings.
No, very good year. And they lost Grantham, their best player. Clemson still coming up big under Coach Brunell.
SportsCenter at 9 follows 76ers Wizards on ESPN with John Buccigross and Kevin Connors. They'll bring you the best of moments for the Rockets Nuggets, with Houston looking to extend their win streak to 12 games. Plus, everything you need to see it here from Tiger's final round at the Honda Classic. Right now, he's 2 under. And an unforgettable SportsCenter feature titled The Black 14. SportsCenter at night on ESPN and the ESPN app.
1-point game, crowd getting into it at Liacouras Center. Hamp with the beautiful spin, but rejected by Anacionia. Numbers here for Temple. Watch Rose fly. And he'll go to the line as the foul's going to be called on Davison.
The key matchup, he's denying him the ball.
Alston Jr. driving in, spills out, gets his own miss with the right hand, and the lead for Temple.
He sold doubles, in fact, sometimes 3 guys on 8th and half. Look out for that from Temple's team tonight. Anacionia on the dribble. There's Trice with a pickpocket. And the outlet up ahead to Iverson. Solo with the right hand.
And that's when Wisconsin will run most. It's when they can get a stop, force a turnover, and get it up in transition. A nice job anticipating defensively.
And you're right about the Green Wave. Last year up by 15 at half over SMU, lost that game. Also nearly had a game in hand against East Carolina, and as you mentioned, against the Temple Owls too. Only won 3 conference games last year. Frazier for 3, and he gets the bag.
He called it. I heard him call it.
Here's Happ taking matters into his own hands.
And here comes Hunter as Jacksonville State's looking to take its first lead with Gregory. Give him 2 for 2 from downtown. And the Gamecocks have the advantage at home on a 9-0 run.
It's tipped by Brown, and Alani Moore just came in, helped him out as well. Alston Jr. for 3. Yes. Temple regains the lead.
Here are the Bruins down by 5. Luke for 3. Mercer gets the miss and splits 2.
Davison on Moore, the step back 2. Alston Jr. might have got a piece, but it's Ford who cleans up beautifully.
Stockert trying to drive in. Oliva blocked him. Trying to get it back on his second attempt. In and out. Hauled in by Griffin. Brockington
Out to Adams, looking for his third three, and he delivers. See how Drexel responds. Good spin move by Isabel. Out to Demir for three. His second three of the night. Career high 16 for Alihan Demir. That was tipped by Brown again, stolen away by Ford. Iverson, extra pass. Trice, down low for Happ. Yes, for Wisconsin. A 2-point game. And Allen tried to go for the swipe. Landrum for three, and he connects. And eighth in the conference, Griffin for three. Give him two in the game. McMurray with the runner. His first field goal this afternoon. Zamelagu trying to take Griffin with the pull-up. And that's smooth. But it is UCF successful today over SMU, improving to 17-9 overall. SMU falls to 15-12. For Mark Wise and our entire crew in Orlando, this is Dave Leto saying so long. Coming up next, Iowa State and Kansas State. For the third consecutive time, it's JSU prevailing over Belmont. For Adrian Branch and our entire ESPN crew, this is Dave Leto saying so long from the peak. Up next, West Coast Conference action with Portland hosting BYU, Roxy Bernstein, and Karan Butler. All yours, guys.